right, am I live? Am I live? I think I'm live. I can't. Oh, here. Yeah. Let's adjust this and put some more light on this on this tree here. Okay. All right. Yes. You see the artist's studio. I call it my pig pen. Welcome back. Yeah, this is all on tech because tech has been Safari to end all safaris. I thought it would never end. And finally, I got him back on the job here. I've given a lot of thought to what we need to do to win the election. I want to give you my ideas. Trump needs to do basically two things. One, he needs to spell out carefully and clearly what he has accomplished, comparing it to Obama's accomplishments and his fuck ups, with Iran and with ISIS, horrifying. So he needs to emphasize the positive first. That he has been the greatest president since George Washington. Not just for people that have a stock portfolio. Mine got beat the hell up the last 2 days, but it'll be back. Not just because he's helped us, but because he's helped low-income earners. He's helped unemployment. He got rid of ISIS. On the tout suite, it's French for right away. He dealt with the Iran problem. The great Thomas Sowell, black intellectual, right? He said Obama is the worst president in American history because he was empowering the Iranians to make nuclear war on the world, including us. Not that I think that anything like that would ever happen, but we want to eliminate the possibility. And Obama, let me say something about Obama that I don't think it's ever been said clearly. Before his first election, he was being interviewed by one of the famous news people. I think it could have been Chris Wallace's. I don't think it was Dan Rather. I think it was Wallace. Chris Wallace's father. Doesn't matter who it was. Obama makes a comment. He says, according to my Muslim religion, and he just keeps going. And of course, the Dem who was interviewing him saw how catastrophic this would be. And so he said, several seconds later, well into the sentence, Obama was not going to go back to that subject. It was clear. But so the interviewer said, "You mean your Christian religion, don't you?" "Oh, yes," said Obama. "I mean my Christian religion." Bullshit. Can you imagine saying, I'm talking to all you Presbyterians and Baptists and Methodists and Catholic, can you imagine saying, by accident, according to my Muslim religion? It's impossible. He was raised as a Muslim, and he still considered himself a Muslim and will until the day he dies. And he's sympathetic to Iran. He's sympathetic to Islam, and he's hostile to white people. White people gave him everything he had, in life. He's responsible for everything, all of his benefits in life, um, and he hates them. I mean, I feel that intuitively. He hasn't come out and said that, but I feel intuitively. I'm confident that he hates white people. I got off the track. I shouldn't have. All right, so Trump needs to begin by emphasizing his achievements, positive, okay, and then not Trump, but we need to really make it clear to the electorate that Kamala Harris, the camel, is a psychopath. Please watch Joe Rogan's interview. You know, these wrongful conviction attorney heroes that have freed people on death row with DNA evidence, and they will explain to you what the camel did. She's a monster. She didn't do this in one death row case. Try to send a black man, to lethal injection, to lie on the table, be strapped down on a table, and receive a lethal injection. She did this to numerous wrongfully convicted people. She tried to withhold. She fought tooth and nail to withhold DNA evidence, other evidence that would exonerate them. That's psychopathic, especially in the case of a death row inmate. I mean, if people understood this one thing, oh, this is a big thing I was going to tell you. So you got to come here because Tucker's great, but I pick up where Tucker leaves off because Tucker doesn't go out and interview people. And I've been doing that, and I've been asking everybody, my cabbie, people I meet in Union Square, anybody that will talk to me, I ask them if they understand the camel story. Camel's story about her psychopathy. Her fighting to sustain wrongful convictions, to keep innocent people in prison, even in one case to murder. So it would be murder for her to do this. What she was trying to do. So she was attempting the murder of a black man. I ask people what they understand about it, and they say, yeah, I've heard something about it, but they don't really understand it. They've just heard about it. All right. What about this being a whore? I apologize to sex workers for calling the camel a sex worker. Camel was not a sex worker. Sex workers are people. They're pitiable people. They deserve pity. They find that all they can do to pay the bills is sell their bodies, and so they're pitiable. But that's so we should not be scornful of them. It's not appropriate. That's the best they can do. Poor things. Kamala, the camel. No, she was. Tucker called it transactional. Okay, that's as far as he can go. What kind of transaction was he talking about? He was talking about trading sexual favors as a beautiful young 29-year-old woman with a 60-year-old black bloated frog named Willie Brown, who was the mayor of San Francisco. And she continued to do this for a long time. This guy was so scandalous. He was taking his girlfriends and his wife to parties. I wonder if he ever took her to a party with his wife. May very well have done so. So look, I'm not some kind of Puritan. I mean, I've admitted to being a gangster of love. At the age turned 30, I became a gangster of love. Okay. I mean, I would be anywhere. I'd be in the courtroom. I'd be talking to some assistant, some young woman that worked there, and I'd end up sleeping with her that night, or I'd go in. Another lawyer and I would go into a restaurant, and I'd end up sleeping with a beautiful waitress that night. So I was a gangster of love. I'll tell you a funny story about that. When herpes came out, now you know we're going back decades, right? When herpes came out, when I first heard about this epidemic of herpes, it stopped me in my tracks. I said, okay, that's it. No more of this, sleeping with another girl every week, every month. It's probably more like every week or two. No more of this, because I don't use protection, and I'm gonna regret this. I've got to stop this, right? So I thought, I want to make a list of all of my conquests, right? So I made a list of all the girls that you remember, and I decided I'm gonna get one girlfriend again. All right, so I'm walking down Kennedy one day, and I run into a girl that I had seduced that was not on the list. Couldn't remember them. So I'm not someone to try to moralize, but see, she's talking about being the president of the United States. Okay. That's something very special. I mean, that's a role model, isn't it? Of course, the president's a role model. All young people want to grow up to be president, and they look to the president, as our leader. And so how can you have a whore be your president? I think these two things, of course, being a psychopath is much more important than being a whore. But I think that if this is made clear to people, I'm telling you, I haven't run into anybody who really understood these the facts, the set of facts supporting both of these allegations I made. I haven't met a single person. So Trump's got to take off the gloves, and he's got to explain that the Dems are running a whore to be president. Forget about Joe Biden. He is a placeholder. He is in fairly rapid decline. You compare his gaffes now to his gaffes when he was, before the primaries, and you can see there's a progression here, and that's this year. So he's had a pretty rapid progression of his dementia. So he's not going to be capable of appearing in public for a year. I mean, I would be very surprised if he could make any sense in a year. So Kamala's going to be our president, and they both made that clear that she's going to run things. So he's got to point that out. He's got to explain that she is a psychopath and a whore. And this is really not suitable to have a president who is a psychopath and a whore. All right, so let's talk about the Dems. Who are they? It's a different demographic than the Republicans, isn't it? It's very, very different. And it includes all kinds of people. It includes CEOs who are involved politically, with the Democrats, and they've been dealing with Democrats in government and Congress, for decades, and so they're embedded, with the Democrats, CEOs, the high-tech companies, but the real backbone of the Democratic Party is the disadvantaged, the people who receive 20, 50 times as much from the government in transfer payments as they pay in taxes, right? So these people are less likely to vote. Registered Democrats Republicans rather, have a history of voting per capita 2% more than registered Democrats. So whenever you look at those polls, you can add 2% to the Democrats. All right, but I don't think we can rely on that, and I don't think we can rely. I don't think the Dems. I think the great majority of Dems, even if they agree with everything I've said about the camel, would still vote for it because they have one agenda, one issue. Who will give us more? That's what they want. I don't care about anything else. Who will give us more benefits? I remember, maybe it's 10 years ago, I read on Market Watch or somewhere that a welfare mother of 4 received $268 a day in transfer payments from government. It's probably more now. God more. It's not enough though. Dems want more. Okay, so if the first 2 points that I discussed doesn't dissuade these Dems from voting, they very well not. I think we need to make it clear to them that if the camel is elected, there will be a civil war. I don't want that to happen. How certain am I that that will happen? I'm getting more and more certain of it. I'm more than 50% certain enough, far more than 50%. And as you listen, you watch things unfold. You see possible scenarios. For example, Trump refusing to accept the mail-in votes and demanding a thorough investigation of them. Okay. What happens then? Insane rioting. Okay. I'll tell you what I would do if I were Trump under this scenario. I would impose martial law. I would sequester the Congress and the Supreme Court for their own safety. And I would postpone the elections indefinitely. Okay. Now, do my people consider this they certainly consider it a great tragedy. The end of our democracy as we know it. Of course, we all would consider this a great tragedy. But that's not the question, is it? The question is, would Trump supporters prefer that he take this course of action to being subjected to a presidency of Kamala Harris? I asked my, I'm dating this pre-med student who is an incredible little doll. Oh, she's brilliant. I asked her this question. She has Trump derangement syndrome. It's insane. It's just, I'd like to have somebody, a psychiatrist, talk to her. It's really crazy. She cannot listen to Trump for more than a couple minutes. She can't even listen to him. Okay. All right. When I asked her, do you agree with me that this would happen, that the Trump supporters would support Trump, and be ready to fight to the death for Trump? She said, without a millisecond's hesitation, she said yes. She agreed, just like the little black girl agreed with what I said. Yeah. I think we all know this. Black, white, everybody knows this. See, I can just leave the country, I go to Monaco. Okay. And I get all kinds of tax benefits, by becoming a citizen of Monaco or many, many places. See, but I'm on death's door now. I can't live forever. I'm 77. Most of the other Trump supporters, the 99.999% who are not in my position and who want to stay here, I'm certain, I'm absolutely certain that they will not accept the camel. The camel to them is an abomination, an absolute abomination. The idea of the camel as their president. Ain't happening, my homies. It ain't happening. Hey, maybe I'm all right. This is just my opinion, my intuition, which is always right. I hasten to add. My intuition was so great as a trial lawyer. I knew if I was going to lose a case, just from sensing the jury. And it happened when I was a kid. I lost some soft tissues and slipped and falls with soft tissue. I never lost a single case with a real objective injury that showed up on MRIs. I never lost a case like that. But I not only knew whether I was going to win or not, I knew when I was going to get a big verdict too. I was right every single time, just from sensing, being with these hundreds of juries, and just I always know when I ask a person a question that can be answered yes or no. I always know what they're going to say, whether they're going to say yes or no before they open their mouth. I want all my mini-me's here, all you guys, to develop that skill. Just be sensitive. Listen, watch, feel. Okay? Become intuitive. Oh God, I gotta talk about the virus. What bullshit. It's gonna be the States. See, we have a real Achilles heel here in the States. Have jurisdiction over voting, and so if they want to close the polls and do all voting by mail, they can do it. Let me talk about the coronavirus. Well, what a crock of shit. I want you to take a wild guess about how many people in the United States, country of 330 million, how many people under the age of 50 have died of COVID-19? Take a wild guess. Think about it for a minute. How about this figure? 750 some? That's all. Okay. How common is it for someone under the age of 65 to die from the COVID virus? Someone who is under 65 but does not have any comorbidities. It is very uncommon. All right, what about the median age? The median age of a COVID-19 death in the United States. How about 80? That's the same as Italy. Huh. No coincidence, the same virus. Why shouldn't be the same statistics, right? 80. So half of the people that die are over 80. Okay. Here's another biggie. See, they've been lying. They've been misleading us. This has been a program This has been programmed by the Dems from the beginning. And now, this little nitwit Joe Biden, who I would like to strangle. I mean, I can't stand the sight of this guy. I'm being hyperbolic. I'm not going to strangle anybody, of course. That's how I feel. See, this is a problem. This is how we all feel about Biden. I mean, I described him as a creature that looked like he had been brought back to life by a Dr. Frankenstein, but it wasn't a completely successful, operation. Oh, here. Why do I have to wear a mask? I had the virus. I was infected in February. I have no comorbidities. I can walk through walls. I have a tremendous, powerful, strong immune system. Why am I wearing a mask? All right, here's the answer. Because the scientists haven't figured out whether or not you can be reinfected. So maybe I could be reinfected right now and not even know it, okay? That's the scientists telling us this. What's the evidence? How about 2 million plus, 20 million people, 20 million people in the world being infected, and that was starting in February, probably even in January. Okay. 20 million people and no known infections. Isn't that pretty strong evidence? I mean, strong enough for me. I never did anything to protect myself because I didn't believe in it. From the first, I didn't believe it for me, and I was right because I knew myself. I knew that I was not going to die from something that killed some other people, and I was right. Intuitively, I was right. But now I have the facts. So now, see, if you had known all these things I've just discussed with you, what would you have done if you were President of the United States back in February? What would you have done? Nothing. You would have told people, we have a small, vulnerable population, and we're going to do what we can to protect it. And this is, we're talking about people that have comorbidities. Okay. We're going to try to protect them, and that's what we can do to protect them. And then I would let everybody go their merry way. By the way, Sweden, did not have a lockdown, did not enforce any kind of, protective measures, masking, distancing. And they, on a per capita basis, they had the same number of deaths that we did, except that half of these deaths were aged people in nursing homes. And get this, here's the important point. They had tried their best to protect these people in nursing homes. But Rush was right. Rush Limbaugh was right when he said this is a flu. Yeah. You can run, but you can't hide. And people have been protecting themselves from the flu, except they haven't. They haven't been protecting themselves. See, the people that were vulnerable in this country, Cuomo came out with this figure. In New York City, 6,000 of our deaths, which I think at the time was maybe about half of them, were older people who had sheltered at home. Yeah, you can run, but you can't get out. You can't hide. it was all pointless, and we're still doing it. We're still doing it. We're still sheltering. People are still sheltering. People are still wearing their damn masks everywhere. They talk about 25% of the people in New York City have probably been infected. I'm sitting on Finelli's on the terrace waiting for my cell phone. I told you about it, and I start talking to these two other guys. Young, one of them had 20s, or the other 40s, and they had both been infected. So all three of us. Here's three people randomly meeting in New York City who've all three been infected. Everybody I talked to, my cab driver, he had the same thing I did. He had a cough, but for a long time. This little fat guy, and he was really sick from it. But it was just a cough. Didn't develop beyond that, but it really debilitated him for a couple months. That was a nice guy, sweet guy, Hispanic. What a crock of shit! I mean, this catastrophe for our economy, and our lives. I mean, it damaged everybody's life somehow. It damaged mine. Here I'm back. I'm walking my trying to make up for it. I'm walking my 6 miles a day. I had a 10-mile day, and that's why I didn't get any sicker, because I was so strong. I tried. All right, so from February until a month ago, I guess, I can't really do my walking because there's no place I can go and relieve myself, right? And I start to, and it's just the psychological toll on me, and it really ran me down. And I'm just now getting my fitness back, and I wanted to show these guys that I could sprint for half a block without getting winded, being able to talk to you like I'm talking now, not out of breath, see? And I did it, and they said, don't. I was going to fall apart some. And I was not as fast as I used to be, but I was plenty fast. I mean, I was sprinting, and I didn't get winded. Yeah, this country is so full of shit. God, how could this have happened? That's why you need me, or someone like me. Someone that can stand up to these scientists, when they start bullshitting. They were bullshitting. Oh, millions are going to die. Wait a minute. Millions are going to die in the United States, and 200,000 have died? That's a big difference. That's a hell of a mistake. I don't believe that's a good faith mistake. I don't believe that. I think that sounds more like a guess to me, doesn't it? Sound like a guess? So the correct answer to that question was, I don't know, because they didn't know. Bastards. They didn't know. Millions of people are going to die. Yeah, my ass. All right, so you're guessing. All right, you want me, for all I know, this is just another flu. This may be a little more serious, but I think any intelligent person in Trump's shoes, I mean, really intelligent like me, would say, well, look, you can't ask me to shut down an entire economy based on your guess about how lethal this virus is. What has happened in China? Millions didn't die there, did they? No. How soon did they respond? Do you have any way of knowing the relationship between the deaths and the response? No, I don't. We don't know. I think that anyone with my ability, my cognitive ability and common sense would no, I'm not going to shut down the economy. I'm not going to order people to shelter in place. I'm cool with the masks. Japan did real well with the masks. Yeah, I'm cool with the masks. We can try the masks. See if that helps. And the distancing, that's fine. The masks and the distancing. Okay? And let's see what happens. And if it turns out I start seeing a lot of people dying, then I will consider lockdowns, sheltering in place. I'll consider that. I mean, why wasn't that a reasonable response to what the scientists were saying? See, why wasn't it? It was. I mean, retrospectively, it would have been a very reasonable response. Of course, hindsight is 20/20. But isn't it sickening, how we were misled and lied to about what was happening? And the Dems are still lying. I mean, they're talking about infections like it means something. It doesn't. I mean, let's go back. 750 Americans have died who are under the age of 50. That's all. So let the kids get it. It doesn't matter. Yeah, but see, the lesson from this is that we need the most intelligent person we can find. To put our lives in the person's hands. We can't just pick somebody because we like their personality. I'm not faulting Trump now. But to blame him because he did not lock down sooner, when we know these things, these Dems are reprehensible pieces of shit. I'm sorry. I hate them. They're liars. God, they're so dishonest. And now you're gonna have, she's like an avatar for the Dems, the camel. And you're gonna make her my president? I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I mean, it's so disgraceful, humiliating. I mean, I'm not gonna even admit to people. I was watching To Catch a Thief, I'm in love with Grace Kelly. I've always been. And I'm thinking, maybe that's where I'll go. I'll go to Monaco and dress up like Cary Grant and go to the casinos. I'm not going to tell anybody. If the camel is our president, I'm not telling anybody. I'm an American. No. God, what a disgrace. All right, spread the word, please. Obviously, I deserve to be liked and subscribed to, for all the work I'm doing for you guys. For nothing. You see me advertising anything? No, nothing. This is pure altruism. I haven't seen much of Tech Man. God, it's driving me nuts. I had to threaten him with just abandoning the project to get him to get back to work and get this. He was having some troubles setting me up. He's got something really terrific, I guess, right now. I gotta get the nose. I gotta get Tech in on this deal because you guys will love him. He's a really fascinating guy, and we need to talk about females, especially since there virtually aren't any listening. We can talk about them. I've got so much to teach you about females. Yeah. been through. What we have been through with this virus unnecessarily. God. Okay, I'm going to try to be back every day, and I watch Tucker, and I want to pick up where he leaves off because he can't go into the things I can go to, and I can go into, and he's not out talking to people. See, I found out just by talking to random people. If I heard about this. You heard about it. I don't really understand it. That's the key. I mean, this is going to be a landslide for Trump if the population understands the depredations of the camel. I mean, they are going to crash and burn. It's going to be McGovern all over again. I think he carried 2 states. Crazy Nixon. Here he knows he's going to bury McGovern, but he allows his people to go and break into Democrat headquarters. God, what was he thinking about? I mean, people just can't control themselves sometimes. Don't you do stuff like that, man? I got to talk just about everyday life, to you guys, and talk about how to comport yourself and how to deal with all these situations in life and how to deal with other people. You got to stay out of trouble, man. You got to. I'm going to talk about self-esteem, self-respect. Maybe tomorrow if I can find the tech. Hey guys, it's been terrific. Now I got to get the tech. See, wait a minute. I got to get the tech. He's not here. And he's got a real hot number tonight. A dancer. Like 10 years younger than he is. He's 28. A scoundrel. Yeah, see, I can't turn it off. Tech isn't here for me to scream at. I guess he'll just look at my Pigpen studio until Tech pulls himself away. And in an hour or two, maybe he'll end this thing. Oh my God. Say la vie. If you're in New York City, I went to Nordstrom's today, and my inner Jew, I have no Jew in me, I told you that, but I got an inner Jew. It makes me go to bargains, buy bargains, okay? It makes me want to save money. You can buy the most beautiful dress shirts. This is the virus. I'm still talking about the virus. You can buy all the most beautiful all cotton dress shirts. I bought a Tommy Hilfiger dress shirt. It's Nordstrom's in Union Square. I bought it today for $7. 25% off the $10 price. Yeah, so they're just getting rid of them. I bought is it John Graham? One of these $175, going out, Frank Sinatra type shirts for $22. Yeah. So anyway, this is a good time to shop. I don't buy anything. I don't need anything, so I don't buy anything unless they're giving it away. I've got this idea of waste not, want not. In me, it's ingrained in my blood, it's in my DNA. So I can't waste on myself. My kids, yeah. My girlfriends, yes, but on myself, I can't waste money. All right, I wish I could strangle that tech right now. What a goofball. Anyway, I apologize, but I can't turn off my thing. I'll be back tomorrow.